Oscar Man 42, one career nomination, no wins, take 4. I've covered actors who won an Oscar on their one and only nomination, and those who received 2 nominations but no wins. Now it's time to talk about some who were only nominated 1 time but didn't win. I'm Michael, aka Oscar Man, and for this video, I'll limit the discussion to performances nominated in the lead actor and actress categories. With some of these examples, I feel the actors were nominated in really competitive years, and that's perhaps why they didn't win. I also think that some of these nominations represented the actor's best work. Let's start with a history-making nomination.
Do you think I do?
What do you expect me to think? Why don't you tell me?
You think what you want. I don't account to no man.
You're counting to me. I love you. That gives me
I
the
don't give
right
you
to...
no right to own me. There's only one that does. That's me, myself.
In 1954's Carmen Jones, Dorothy Dandridge became the first African-American woman to receive a Best Actress nomination. As Carmen, Dandridge appeared in her first starring role after more than 15 uncredited parts in various films. In Carmen Jones, her singing voice was dubbed by Marilyn Horne.
Okay, honey. Accelerate me all you want. The harder I get bumped, the more me bounces. Sugar, you ain't gonna take me to the cooler, are you? Can't do you much good once I'm in jail. What do you say we drive to a little place I know on the edge of town? I show you more fun than you ever had.
Dorothy Dandridge's Oscar nomination was a huge deal back in the 1950s. Carmen Jones was a critical and box office success, propelling Dandridge to star status. The singer and actress acknowledged the importance of her sudden fame when she served as a presenter at the 1955 Academy Awards show.
If I seem a little nervous, this is as big a moment for me as it will be for the winner of this award.
Now, in this instance, the nomination was the win, as Dorothy Dandridge found herself nominated alongside Judy Garland in A Star is Born and the winner, Grace Kelly, in The Country Girl. Unfortunately, Dorothy Dandridge was never able to sustain her film career in subsequent roles, turning down the parts of Tumton in The King and I, as well as Sandra in The Lieutenant Wore Skirts, both ultimately played by future Oscar winner Rita Moreno. Otto Preminger, the director of Carmen Jones and Dandridge's lover for several years, advised her to only accept leading roles, though the actress later regretted not doing both films. Dandridge's career following Carmen Jones included 7 more films and occasional stints on television and the stage. And though it took nearly 20 years for another African American to be nominated for lead actress, actually 2 in 1972, Diana Ross in Lady Sings the Blues and Cicely Tyson in Sounder, it wasn't until 2002 when Halle Berry became the first to win the Oscar for Monsters Ball. Ironically, Berry won numerous awards a few years prior for her television movie in which she portrayed Dorothy Dandridge. The legacy of Dorothy Dandridge includes a star on the Hollywood Fame, in addition to her history-making Oscar nomination. She died from a drug overdose in 1965 at the age of 42.
Thank you very much. It's good to be in Clear Lake, Iowa. It's pretty cold up here, though. Oh. I haven't done this in a while. I'm a little nervous, so I'm going to play the hardest thing I know for someone real special. Here we go, True Love Way.
The Buddy Holly story was considered a breakthrough film for its star Gary Busey, who was nominated for Best Actor for the 1978 musical biography of the singer best known for such recordings as That'll Be the Day and Peggy Sue.
What are you talking about? I'm not going to pay you without performing.
Well, your telegram didn't say nothing about performing. It says, can you be in New York City for week of May 2nd through 9th? Stop will pay $1,000, Saul Gittler. And we're going to be here for a week. You have my word.
The film was considered a one-man show because of Busey's total immersion into the rock and roll singer's persona. Gary Busey not only did his own singing and guitar playing, but he lost 32 pounds to more closely resemble Buddy Holly's slender build. And while the critics enjoyed both the film and Busey's performance, the woman who the song Peggy Sue was named after called the movie, quote, typical Hollywood gobbledygook fantasy, unquote. Gary Busey co-starred in several major films before landing the role of Buddy Holly, and he lost the Oscar to Jon Voight in Coming Home. Following his nomination, the actor worked steadily in more than 100 movies and nearly 50 television shows. However, none of his film roles lived up to the promise of his Oscar-nominated performance. The actor suffered permanent brain damage from a motorcycle accident in 1988 and was later hospitalized as a result of a cocaine overdose. Busey stated he was first inspired as a teenager to play Buddy Holly, whose life ended at the age of 22 in a plane crash. The film remains Gary Busey's most celebrated and famous work.
How can you say that? Lenny, Jesus Christ, you were the one that taught me into these freak scenes.
I didn't do too much talking, did I?
I knew it. I told you.
Lenny Bruce was a controversial figure in the 1950s and 60s with a stand-up comedy act that included satirical rants about politics, religion, and sex. His life was the subject of a 1974 film that starred Dustin Hoffman in the title role and Valerie Perrine, who received a Best Actress nomination for her performance as Bruce's long-suffering wife, Honey Harlow.
How much this time?
200?
I'll send what I can.
I'll pay you back this time. He said he'd call on
Tuesday.
I miss you, Daddy.
The role of Honey was originally offered to Linda Day George, best known as the star of the television series Mission Impossible. George turned down the role because she was uncomfortable with the subject matter and nudity required. Others who turned the film down were Raquel Welch and Connie Stevens. Lenny was Valerie Perrine's third film, and it garnered the actress several awards as the year's Best Supporting Actress. However, the Academy followed the Golden Globes lead and placed her in the lead category. She lost to Ellen Burstyn in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore. Following the triumph of Lenny, Valerie Perrine went on to star in major films like Superman, but she also made Can't Stop the Music, and afterwards a string of little-known films and various television movies. Sadly, the actress was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease in 2015, and her condition was profiled in the 2020 documentary entitled Valerie.
And you don't know what you've done. Don't turn your back, Polo. I just talked to my doctor. He said there's very little any of us can do, but there's a slight chance, only a very slight chance.
Well, I know what its chances are, Celia.
You're not two little kids huddled in a dark corner anymore, Polo. Where is Johnny?
He's waiting for me. Now, don't you see, Celia? As long as he gets it, he's all right. You'd never know he was any different.
Based on the Broadway play, 1957's A Hatful of Rain brought Anthony Franciosa his one and only Oscar nomination as Best Actor for his portrayal of Polo, whose brother suffers from drug addiction.
Why don't you ask your husband, Johnny, what's the matter with him, and leave me alone, please, huh?
You sound just like Johnny. If I close my eyes, I think you were Johnny.
Yeah, well, ask my old man who I am, Celia. He'll tell you. I'm Polo, the no-good bum. All right, Johnny. He's my brother, and he's a louse, and that louse is going to kill me.
The subject matter of A Hatful of Rain was strong stuff back in the 1950s. Anthony Franciosa won a Tony nomination for featured actor, and he was asked to reprise his role for the film version, which also starred Don Murray and Eva Marie Saint. In 1957, Franciosa starred in 4 films, and his scene-stealing performance in A Hatful of Rain made him a major marquee name. Though he lost the Oscar to Alec Guinness in The Bridge on the River Kwai, the actor won a Golden Globe for 1959's career. However, his Oscar-nominated work was likely his peak role, though he later starred in a couple of hit television series. Anthony Franciosa's hair-trigger temper was well known in Hollywood and memorialized in his second wife Shelley Winters' autobiography. Franciosa once said that Hollywood stardom came a little too early for him and that he wasn't mature enough at the time to handle it. Anthony Franciosa died of a stroke in 2006 at the age of 77.
Monica, I just simply cannot bear it. Now she is driving me mad. How can she play that tinkle now? Rhoda! Monica, I can't stand it. How can she play that music now? Rhoda, stop stealing that music!
All right, is The Bad Seed one of your guilty pleasures? The 1956 adaptation of the Broadway play is fun to watch today. Well, at least it is for me. While I'm sure the story of a psychopathic child shocked stage and screen audiences at the time, its over-the-top elements have turned the film into somewhat of a camp classic. And at the helm is Oscar-nominated Nancy Kelly as the mother.
Did you have anything, I don't care how small it was, did you have anything to do with the way Claude got drowned?
What makes you ask that, Mother?
Now look me in the eye and tell me the truth, because I must know.
No, Mother, I didn't.
You're not going back to the Fern School next year. They don't want you anymore.
Okay.
I'm going to call Miss Fern and have her come over here.
You think I lied to her?
You did lie to her.
But not to you, Mother, not to you.
Now, to be fair, Nancy Kelly recreated her Tony Award-winning role as Christine Penmark, the mother who suspects her little darling daughter Rhoda may have inherited the mental instability from her biological grandfather, who was a notorious serial killer. Now you ask, why on earth would Christine believe this? Just because Rhoda might have been responsible for a schoolmate's brutal killing? Or that she had something to do with the burning death of the apartment building's janitor? Oh, come on. Rhoda certainly couldn't have murdered an elderly neighbor for a keepsake found in her bedroom. Oh, but there's more, including an overdose of sleeping pills, a self-inflicted gunshot wound, and a bolt of lightning. You're saying to yourself, he said the film is considered campy? Well, for starters, there is Nancy Kelly's hysterical, both literal and figurative, overwrought, play-to-the-balcony performance. Now, I'm not saying the actress was Faye Dunaway in Mommy Dearest camp, but certainly in the same ballpark. I'm sure this is how she played the role on stage and was directed as such for the film. And whether or not you appreciate the actress's performance, this version of The Bad Seed is easily superior to its two tepid television remakes. Nancy Kelly began her film career in the 1920s and appeared in more than 30 films before The Bad Seed. Interestingly, after being nominated for Best Actress, which she lost to Ingrid Bergman in Anastasia, Kelly never starred in another feature film, appearing in a few television series before she succumbed to diabetes in 1995 at the age of 73.
Eddie, thank you, boys. That was a big introduction. Just talking to this. Thank you, folks. It's nice to be remembered. I can't tell you how nice. But, about singing for you. See, I'm a little rusty, but, well, you asked for it, so we'll just make it a quick one, huh? What do the boys handle that I can sing?
Anything.
Robert E. Lee. I don't think I'll need this, Eddie.
In the 1946 biographical musical The Jolson Story, Larry Parks earned raves for his portrayal of the vaudevillian performer who starred in the first talking picture, The Jazz Singer.
Like that, we better tell Jonesy to skip the act. Come on, we gotta get ready ourselves.
So you get made up, Steve. I gotta try and pull this guy together.
All right, but hurry up. Tom, there's a big derby crowd out there tonight. The house is packed. You gotta go on. I'm rearing to... Oh. Tom.
Though the film itself was considered very loosely based on the life of Al Jolson, Larry Parks spent much time learning the various mannerisms of the singer. Parks lip-synced all of the musical numbers to Al Jolson's voice, but that didn't deter from his critically acclaimed performance. Columbia Pictures, though pleased with the final film, had several issues to contend with when releasing it. First, Larry Parks, though a fixture at the studio, was still not well known to movie audiences, nor was Al Jolson by that time either. Additionally, the scenes depicting Jolson in blackface could have easily offended the public. The initial advertising posters downplayed Parks, but once the actor's performance generated significant attention, he was prominently featured. Larry Parks lost Best Actor to Frederick March in The Best Years of Our Lives, but Parks benefited from the nomination and became a leading man in subsequent films, including a sequel entitled Jolson Sings Again. Unfortunately, Larry Parks was a victim of blacklisting in the early 1950s, and his acting career, along with many others, was destroyed. He worked on television and in the theater, but eventually quit acting due to lack of work, and started a successful construction business. Larry Parks died of a heart attack in 1975 at the age of 60.
We're going to sink! Not with Molly Brown on board. That ship may be down, but not me. I'm unsinkable. I survived the Colorado floods when I was 6 months old, so this is nothing. So we're going to be all right if we keep our heads.
Although Debbie Reynolds is well known to movie audiences dating back to when she co-starred in Singin' in the Rain when she was 18 years old, she only received one Oscar nomination as Best Actress for 1964's The Unsinkable Molly Brown. To me, Debbie Reynolds was the consummate entertainer. She was a singer, dancer, actress, comedienne whose work in films, television, nightclubs, and the Broadway stage was always a testament to her immense talent, even when the material wasn't necessarily worthy of her. Her performance as Molly Brown, a role originated on Broadway by Tammy Grimes, propelled the film to strong box office returns, even though most critics found the story slight. Only 5 of the original 17 musical numbers were used, and the film's budget was cut because MGM was more interested in putting its money into the expensive Dr. Zhivago. Debbie Reynolds was cast only after Shirley MacLaine had to withdraw from the project because of a contractual dispute with producer Hal Wallace. As she did throughout her long career, Reynolds threw herself into the role, this time as Molly Brown, a real-life survivor of the Titanic. Her enthusiastic performance brought her to the Oscars, though she lost to Julie Andrews in Mary Poppins. I thought Debbie Reynolds would receive a second nomination for her screen comeback in 1996's comedy Mother, and though that didn't happen, she continued working for decades, receiving a Lifetime Achievement Award from the Screen Actors Guild, along with the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award in 2015. Overcome with grief when her daughter Carrie Fisher died suddenly, Debbie Reynolds passed away the following day in 2016 at the age of 84.
Made the rounds of the newspapers today.
Soup. Very, very hot. Yes, monsieur.
You said you wouldn't.
I just dropped in for a moment. Where's the harm?
Haven't you said that a real artist will get to the top sooner or later by his own efforts?
But why later? It can be sooner.
When I compiled this list, it was just a mere coincidence that many of the performances I chose to discuss featured music as their main theme. And 1945's A Song to Remember is yet another. The biographical drama on the life of composer Frédéric Chopin gave Cornel Wilde a major boost and an Oscar nomination.
Well, but Frederick, are you sure of this?
The money's to go to Professor Elsner. He will know what to do with it.
But perhaps we should discuss this further. You must consider your health.
I want to start immediately. Will you see to it, please?
No,
I'm deeply obliged to you, Louis.
"1945 was a banner year for Cornel Wilde, bringing him to the forefront and leading man status when he starred alongside Gene Tierney in Leave Her to Heaven, in addition to A Song to Remember. It was the latter film which made him a star, and the film, though criticized for its less than factual story of the relationship between Chopin and George Sand, was still a major success. Jose Iturbi, who appeared in several MGM musicals, was hired to double for Cornel Wilde during the scenes where Chopin played the piano, and Wilde never hid that fact in later years. Following A Song to Remember, Cornel Wilde starred in such films as Forever Amber and The Greatest Show on Earth, though he may have been best known years later for his episode of I Love Lucy. You know, the one where Lucy tries escaping when caught in Wilde's hotel room. In the 1980s, the actor made the television guest star circuit on The Love Boat, Fantasy Island, and Murder, She Wrote. The shows where many movie stars of the bygone era subsequently found work. Cornel Wilde died from leukemia in 1989 at the age of 77.
You look so funny.
There wasn't a thing I could tell.
What a marvelous looking man. I wonder if he's single.
I don't know how long I can get away with this act, but she's sure worth a try.
Pillow Talk was the first film to pair Doris Day with Rock Hudson, and their on-screen chemistry appealed to audiences in the 1950s and 60s. And while it may not represent Doris Day's best film work, Pillow Talk did garner the star her only Oscar-nominated role for Best Actress of 1959.
Well, heard from the phone company. I'm the one who can't get a call through, and they sent me this. Listen, your complaint has been found to be completely unwarranted and untruthful. According to our inspector, Miss Dickinson. Would you believe that? They sent a woman. It's like sending a marshmallow to put out a bonfire.
Producer Ross Hunter pushed Doris Day to do the film so that she could show what he felt was her sexy side, hiring Jean-Louis to design costumes which transformed her girl next door image into a more glamorous, flirtatious persona. Pillow Talk also changed Rock Hudson's image to show off his comedic side, and he worked well with Day in the story about a pair of strangers who meet via a telephone party line. Interestingly, a sequel was planned 20 years later with Day and Hudson reuniting as parents of a daughter, to be played by Christy McNichol. All involved were enthusiastic about making the film, but it didn't come to pass. Pillow Talk was a massive hit at the box office and propelled Doris Day to the #1 box office draw, where she remained for 4 years. The Best Actress Oscar that year went to Simone Signoret in Room at the Top, though Pillow Talk did win in the original screenplay category. Doris Day continued making light comedies for the remainder of her film career. She should have accepted the role offered to her as Mrs. Robinson in The Graduate. I think she would have surprised many. But she turned it down because she thought the script was, quote, vulgar and offensive, unquote. Her self-titled television comedy series in the 1960s was something she unhappily found herself required to do because her late husband, who served as her manager, signed a contract without her knowledge. Doris Day spent her retirement years as an animal activist, generally shunning interviews while living a quiet life in Carmel, California. The Motion Picture Academy offered Day an honorary Oscar several times, but she declined, stating she would not show up to accept if presented to her. The popular singer, actress, and humanitarian died from pneumonia in 2019 at the age of 97. I'm saving a favorite actress of mine, one not really known for her work in films, for last. But before I discuss her Oscar-worthy performance, I briefly want to express my gratitude to you for joining me. I love my fellow Oscar nerds, and I remain humble that there are others out there who also enjoy talking about a subject that doesn't always generate the same kind of enthusiasm with those in our world. When the video concludes with a mother and daughter bonding moment from a movie I discussed here, please click the like button, and if you're not one already, become a subscriber so you can join us for weekly videos and daily polls where you vote like an Academy member. Oh, be sure and also hit that notification bell so YouTube will tell you when I post new content. One more thing. If you're watching this on a mobile phone, look for the hype button and tap it. You can do this twice in 1 week, and if more hypes are received, YouTube will make sure that more Oscar nerds are able to find the video. I sincerely appreciate this.
Who can turn the world on with her smile? Who can take a nothing day and suddenly make it all seem worthwhile?
Well, her smile wasn't exactly on display in 1980's Ordinary People, where she played Beth, the cold, insensitive mother of Oscar winner Timothy Hutton.
It's really important to try to hurt me, isn't it?
Don't you have that backwards?
Oh? And how do I hurt you? By embarrassing you in front of a friend? Poor Beth, she has no idea what her son is up to. He lies and she believes every word of it.
I didn't lie.
You did. You lied every time you came into this house at 6:30.
Mary Tyler Moore gained her greatest stardom on television, playing the wife of Dick Van Dyke, as well as the independent Mary Richards on her self-titled sitcom. But in Ordinary People, the actress stunned fans in a role no one could have imagined her playing.
Good night.
The story goes that Robert Redford, making his feature film directing debut with Ordinary People, saw Mary Tyler Moore walking alone on the beach one day. Witnessing her somber mood, Redford stated that he was interested in exploring what he called the dark side of Mary Tyler Moore, and thought she would be perfect as Beth Jarrett. The actress liked the script and accepted, knowing it would be a career challenge for her to tackle a serious, non-comedic role, the antithesis of Mary Richards. Moore had appeared in films before Ordinary People, including Thoroughly Modern Millie, but like many other actors who starred in popular television series, the juxtaposition between the two mediums was not all that successful. However, Ordinary People changed that, bringing more accolades, including the Golden Globe. Though Mary Tyler Moore should have been part of the Oscar sweep for Ordinary People, which won Best Picture, Director, Screenplay, and Supporting Actor, she lost to that year's favorite, Sissy Spacek, in Coal Miner's Daughter. I've always said that if Mary Tyler Moore had been nominated the following year, she would have easily won. The actress only made a few films after Ordinary People, though she starred in a handful of television series that didn't live up to her previous successes, but she also ventured onto Broadway, receiving a special Tony Award. The winner of 7 Emmys and the recipient of the Screen Actors Lifetime Achievement Award, Mary Tyler Moore's decades-long struggle with juvenile diabetes resulted in many health complications, resulting in her death in 2017. The legendary star was 80 years old. I compiled a long list of actors who received only one Oscar nomination in their career. Which ones would you like me to discuss in a follow-up to this video? I really appreciate your input. And until we meet again, my only comment to the following clip is, well, at least she told the truth.
What happened to old Mrs. Post in Wichita?
There was ice on the steps, and I slipped and fell against her. And that was all.
That was all?
No. I slipped on purpose.